to show you, we're going to demonstrate, Lori and I together, the folded corner clipper extra large and the small one. You say, well, why do I need this? This will help you so much with your binding, cutting your binding fabric. This will help you with borders and mitered borders. So important. But before we show you, there's one thing I want to mention. You know, we try to carry what's the best for you as the customer, because if we're not carrying the top-notch supplies in Notions, what causes us to be different from Walmart's, Joann's, or Hobby Lobby? What is really cool that I want to show you is, if you look at this one, which I haven't taken the paper off, you got a barcode scan here. Thank you, Betsy. We found this last night. You download this to your phone. Once you do that, you put your phone over the front of it on your camera, and this gives you the video and instructions for you to be able to retrack, or if you're doing it, or say you haven't put borders on in a while, you can always go back to the video and you can do it on your phone while you're sitting right there sewing. So that's why I like Creative Grid, because, and they have the non-slip on the back, which makes it a wonderful ruler, because some companies do not do that. But Creative Grid, and their rulers go on forever. If there's a ruler you're looking for and say we don't have it in stock, please call us, because we like to order it in Creative Grid. Sometimes we don't have them all, but I hope that you would give us first shot at it, because supporting a small business means everything to a small business. But Lori's going to show you with the mitered corners. And one thing I say about this ruler, whether you're an experienced quilter or a beginner, this tool will help you with borders, so when you bring it into the store, your quilt, it doesn't have wavy borders. When you come in and we put your quilt on the quilt machine, sometimes we see quite a bit of fullness, little fullness, a whole lot. And if you've got a whole lot of fullness in those borders, your last two designs on your quilt is going to have a deformative look to it, that you're not going to see the same design, because what we had to do was work the fullness out of your borders that you had done on the sides, and it always shows up in a quilt on the last two rows and the bottom border. So Lori's going to show you a few things with this, a few pointers. You can do snowballs, blocks with this. It's a wonderful tool, these two are. And you say, why should I have them? I think they're great. I think it takes a lot of guesswork out, and you'll see as Lori demonstrates this for you this morning.
Good morning. Sorry for my blurb earlier. I switched the camera. I'm sorry. But anyway, this makes me nervous, but in doing mitered borders, first you're going to determine what the outside length of your border is going to be. Once you've done that, you'll cut your fabric to that length. You will take, and it can be any width of a border. I'll show you with the narrow. This is a 3.5. You fold them right sides together, and you will take and place it down. This has everything from 1 inch to 10 inches. You will line it up on the 3. I'm right-handed. I need to switch that to the other side. It has a little return line here. You will line that return line up on the end of your border piece. When you have it lined up, you will line the 3.5 up with the edge of your fabric, and you will cut. One of the neat parts of this, it will take off the dog ear, and it will also help you because you already have your 1/4 inch to line up with. But now you have your mitered end-to-end piece that will line up perfectly with the other side when you put them on your quilt. But this was a 3.5, and I also cut an 8-inch just to show you how versatile this is. Like I said, it goes from something as small as an inch all the way up to 10, but I just line up my 8, the little return line here. It's going to give me something I needed to mention when I said determine your outside edge, you're supposed to add a 1/2 inch to that, and that allows for your 1/4 inch sewing. So determine your outside length, add a 1/2 inch, cut your border, fold it in half, wrong sides together, and then use your ruler to make your cut. And this is how to do the mitered edge, but you can also, if you are going to put borders together and your fabric needs to be longer than the 40 inches, you can also cut your ends by laying your fabric on top of each other, right side up. Right side up. You will first straighten your end.
And what's really nice about this is it takes the guesswork out. You don't have to mark it. The important thing is that you pin it. And if you see as Lori goes, the tool is so user friendly. And if you forget how to use it, like I said, if you've got that scanner, it'll show you. Go ahead, Miss Lori.
You have your little return line that you line up on the end, and then you cut. And the neat part is, now when I go to join this border piece, you'll be lining it up, and your dog ears are already taken care of. And you know how when you have two corners, you're trying to judge whether you have it lined up exactly right, because to allow for your 1/4 inch seam, this lines it up perfectly. You put the flat edge up at the top, and the flat edge is here. You sew your 1/4 inch seam, and like Miss Sue said, it'd be good to pin it to hold it in place so that when you go to the sewing machine, you don't take and get off on it. But it comes out after it's sewn perfectly. I'm showing you the back so you can see where the seam is, so that you can see the edges are as straight as can be.
That's nice. Will you show them this one where we didn't use the pin and how we got off? Because pinning is as important as the cutting that you do. And if you look at the top, you'll see that it's off somewhat.
See right in here. I'm going to show you both sides just so you can see. Didn't line up with the pinning, and so when it was sewn, you have this little lip on each side. But they line up perfectly if you will just put the flat edge at the top and line up the flat edge at the bottom, and then pin it and take it to your machine and sew your 1/4 inch seam. You'll get a nice straight border piece. Nice flat.
That's nice. I hope you liked our presentation. These rulers run 24, and the smaller one, which I'm looking for, runs 14. So, I'm sorry, 17.49. This one's 24. I like having them both. You can use this one's great to do your cutting your binding, because it gives you that angle, so when you open it up, the two seams are together. You don't have to go back and cut and mark and guess. And you've seen what happened in this one. And I know everybody in stid binding has ended up with that. You got two options when you end up with that. Take it out or clean it up, but then that adjusts your 2.5 inch binding. When you fold it, it will be inconsistent. So we wanted to say that to you.